Last month, a 50 million pound London mansion changed hands.
Mm,
But if you tried to find a photo of the kitchen or, a for sale sign on the lawn, you'd find absolutely nothing.
right, completely invisible to the public.
Exactly. And so for today's deep dive, we are exploring this off-market property world. Basically, homes that sell without a single public listing on platforms like Rightmove or Zoopla.
Yeah, and the mission here is to figure out how this shadow market actually operates, why it's growing so rapidly, and, well, what it means for you if you're looking to buy into this tier of real estate.
So to really get this, we have to look at the mechanics.
Mm.
Because if you're selling a massive asset, the traditional logic is get as many eyeballs on it as possible, right?
You would certainly think so, yeah.
So how does an agent even match a buyer and a seller without a public database?
Well, it operates entirely on a whisper network. So instead of public marketing campaigns, agents rely on their black books. They discreetly approach very specific, pre-vetted private networks.
Okay, so we're talking about like existing clients or international investors.
Exactly. And family offices, which are essentially private wealth management firms that handle investments for ultra-rich families.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's basically like a secret menu at an exclusive restaurant where knowing the chef gets you access to things the public just isn't allowed to see.
I really love that analogy. It's so accurate. Sellers choose this sort of headhunting approach for a few distinct reasons. First is privacy. High-profile individuals, celebrities or entrepreneurs, they just don't want their physical security layouts broadcast online.
Oh, sure, that makes total sense.
And second, it lets them test the market without fully committing to a public launch.
Which I'd imagine ties directly into avoiding a stale listing. We all know how damaging it is when a property just sits publicly for months. Buyers instantly assume something is wrong.
Exactly. And at this ultra-prime level, the buyer pool for a trophy asset is already incredibly tiny.
So broadcasting broadly doesn't really help anyway.
No, it doesn't magically create more multimillionaires. It just exposes the property to market fatigue. So if you are buying in this tier, you aren't fighting algorithms on an app. You are relying entirely on the human Rolodex of your agent to even know these properties exist.
But wait, here's where it gets really interesting to me. By avoiding public portals, aren't sellers just shooting themselves in the foot by sacrificing competitive tension?
Right. The bidding war?
Yeah. I mean, if you only show the house to 3 people on a whisper network, aren't you almost guaranteeing you'll leave money on the table?
What's fascinating here is that you've hit on the exact flaw in the system. Intentionally limiting your buyer pool creates this massive financial paradox.
Because the heat just disappears.
Exactly. The competitive tension is gone, and sellers genuinely do risk sacrificing a higher price just for the sake of discretion.
So if they risk losing a bidding war, why are we seeing more of these shadow sales right now instead of fewer? Are sellers just getting more paranoid?
It's a combination of, well, digital paranoia and shifting economics. Digital privacy fears are incredibly high right now.
Ah, right. People hate having their personal spaces online.
Yeah, and you add in the intense concentration of wealth among a tiny elite. Deals naturally happen through personal relationships there rather than public ads. Plus, in a slower property market, sellers vastly prefer to quietly negotiate a price down behind closed doors.
Because visibly slashing a price online for the world to see damages the perceived value of a trophy asset.
Precisely. So to combat this risk of losing money, smart agents use a hybrid strategy. They start discreetly in the shadows, and if they don't hit their target price, then they pivot to a full public launch.
Wow. So the crucial lesson for you as a buyer is that relying solely on property portals means you are almost certainly missing out on the best opportunities.
Yeah, if you are hunting in these prime markets, your relationship with a well-connected agent is genuinely just as vital as your actual budget.
It completely changes how you look at a traditional real estate transaction, and it leaves you with a pretty big question to ponder.
Ooh, what's that?
If the world's most valuable trophy assets are increasingly traded in the shadows, based purely on who you know, does the public housing market eventually just become a clearinghouse for the leftovers?
Oh, wow. That is a dark thought.
Definitely something to think about next time you're scrolling through those public listings looking for what they actually want you to see.